girls. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. Today is day 9 of our remote learning. I have a YouTube channel that I'd like you to look at each morning that will have our morning prayer, the Pledge of Allegiance led by our Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, and the song God Bless America. So if you go to youtube.com and click on Mrs. Losardo's class, you'll find our YouTube page, which we'll be using for daily meetings each day. I have on there one of the clips that we have says morning prayer and pledge, and I'd ask that you go to that each morning before you start our daily lesson. Okay, so today I said is March 25th. It is a Wednesday, and let's count all the way to 25. 25 is the number 25. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, which is today. And we look up and we see it is Wednesday. And if you remember our Day of the Week song, remember we have 7 days in a week. I'd like you to sing that with me, please. Ready? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There are 7 days, there are 7 days, there are 7 days in a week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Very good. And we have 12 months in the year. We are in the month of March. And right before you went home, we started to learn the little poem, the little song poem that we do for the 12 months of the year. So practice it with me each day and you will get it eventually. Ready? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, hooray, hooray. September, October, November, December. These are the months that I remember. Excellent job. You'll notice that the background is a little different today. Today we're starting our class in actually Mrs. Losardo's home. Just like you're working from home, I'm working from home too. And this room that we're in right now is Mrs. Losardo's studio. It's where I do a lot of my reading. You'll see lots of books behind me. I do some writing at this desk. I also do sewing in here and painting and all kinds of crafts. So it's a really special room for me, and I'm glad you're able to join me here today. In these videos, you'll probably see Serafina, my dog Serafina, and my other dog Tessa might be popping through here and there. So glad you can join me. I'm just going to turn my board around a little bit. Actually, before we start, I would like you to look at this basket that I have. Today I have some very cool activities for you to do from home. And for the next 3 days, we're going to be having a very special theme. So I'm going to show you some things in my basket. And I want to see if you can guess what the theme for this week and going into next week will be. Okay. The first thing I have in here are some very special gloves. They have fabric on the back of the hand, and then they have a rubber coating. Here's Serafina checking them out. A rubber coating on the inside. I use these. I also have a watering can. I wonder how many of you have guessed the theme already. Here I have a little hole digger. You push this into the ground and pull it up, and the soil comes with it to make holes in the dirt. This would be fun to use in a school sandbox or play yard. And then I have these special tools. These are also for digging. Two more things. I have this special container here that has these recyclable pots. Nope. And I have a pumpkin. Can any of you guess what the theme is for this week? If you said gardening or planting, you are absolutely correct. We're going to be learning all about gardening starting today. And on Friday, when your families pick up some more of the paperwork and activities for you, there will be some gardening supplies in there for you to do at home. Meanwhile, if you have any egg cartons, Seraphina's going to check it out. If you have any egg cartons, any cardboard egg cartons at home that are empty, I would suggest that you start saving them, because we can use these to start planting some seeds. We'll put some soil inside the holes and seeds inside them, and you'll be able to start growing some plants of your own. I'm just going to put this aside for right now. And I am going to turn this around. If you have a paper, drawing pad, and maybe some crayons or markers or pencils, you can join me each morning. What we'll try to do is try to do some kind of a little bit of drawing each day. I do love to draw, and I thought today that it would be fun to start drawing maybe what a garden looks like. Okay? Raise your hand if you have a garden at home. It could be a flower garden, a vegetable garden, maybe a little area where you have a planting bed. I do. I'll show that to you later today. You'll get to see what my winter garden looks like on another episode on the YouTube channel today. All right. So I'm going to draw a little bit of what my garden looks like. In my garden, I have lots of tall pine trees around it. So I have to be very, very careful with where I plant things, because the pine trees are so very tall that they create a lot of shadows or shade on my garden. So in one area where I have this very, very tall pine tree, that is the corner of my garden. And then my garden goes like this and like this. See if you can guess the name of the shape that I'm drawing. I'm going to make a line going down here. So far we have one side, two sides, three sides, and then right over here, I'm going to draw a fourth side to my shape. So we have one side, two sides, three sides, four sides. We also have four corners. One corner, a corner is where the two lines meet together. Two corners, three corners, and the fourth corner. So if you look at the shape, you'll see four sides, four corners. Two sides are long and two sides are short. If you know the name of that shape, say it now. Very good. This shape is called a rectangle. Excellent. So my garden is in the shape of a rectangle. Right in the middle of this side, I have a little gate. Right over here, I have another rectangle of blueberry bushes. So my blueberry bushes go all like this. No blueberries on them yet. The leaves are just starting to bud. So to make the budding leaves, I'm just going to make little tiny dots on the branches. Okay, the leaves very soon will start to collect the sunlight to help feed those blueberry bushes so they can start growing blueberries again this year. So just the little dots look like little buds on my blueberry branches. All right. Right now in my garden, I also have 3 raised beds on this side, and they are in the shape of a rectangle. So there's one right here. One right here in the middle of this side, and another right here. Okay. Right now, this bed is empty. It is full of leaves and pine needles. This one is empty as well. All 3 of these are empty. And then right over here, I'm just going to draw some little mounds. This is where I had my yellow beans growing last year. And right now it's just a pile of dirt. Now over here I'm going to draw a circle. Then I'm going to make some lines, and I'm going to draw a little rainbow over here. This place right here is actually a mulching barrel. So when I have old or I have pieces of vegetables that I'm not using anymore, sometimes if you think of like the vines of plants, the tops of the carrots that you may not eat, all kinds of things. If I'm chopping up cucumbers and I have the end pieces that I want, instead of throwing them in the trash can, I put them in my mulch pile. I also will put in some soil in there and some coffee grinds, and those will actually help to make new rich soil for the foods, for food for my plants when they start to grow. All of this area is empty, but over here I do have another raised bed. This one's a little taller than the rest. It has little legs on it. And this raised bed actually has plants already starting to grow. Those are my strawberry plants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make little circles in there to show the strawberry leaves that are starting to grow. Under the soil there are some, the roots are connecting. No strawberries yet. They should be around early June, but the leaves are starting to grow. And over here I have one of my very favorite plants, and right now they are just some stems with leaves, so we can do the same thing, some vines with dots. And these plants are my lavender plants. The leaves that grow on the lavender plants smell absolutely beautiful. A lot of people use them for soaps and lotions, and the oil is used for sprays as well. Some people even make teas with them that they say are absolutely delicious. The flower that grows on a lavender plant is purple. So right now I just have some leaves. Some of them have died from last year, have not come back, and some of the plants are returning from last year. So one more thing, I do have some 4 trees growing right here. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to make some lines going up and up. That's one tree. No leaves on it yet, just little buds, because it's very early springtime. And I have another tree right beside it here. So I'll do this, some branches with buds. Another one here. This one is not as big. and a fourth one right here. And right there in my yard is where I have some apple trees growing. Last year, for the very first time, I started to get some apples on this tree. I'm hoping that more of the apple trees will start to produce fruit this season. So we'll see. Okay, before we finish this morning, I would like to go over some of the pages that we have assigned for today. Okay, so today you have a sheet that has you tracing the number 4. And in order to make the number 4, I will do that right here on the board with you. You're going to start at the top and go down, straight line from top to bottom. Then you are going to go sideways to the right. So you're going to start here at the bottom of the line and go to the right. And then one more line. You will start at the top, not right where that ends, but a little in, and go straight down through that line. And if you do that, you've written the number 4. Please count to 4 with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Up until today, you have learned to write the number 1. You have learned to write the number 2. And you've learned how to write the number 3. So in this box, right here, you're going to trace the number 4, and then you're going to write the number 4 times on your own. In these boxes, what you'll do is you're going to count. It looks like over here we have Jell-O molds or maybe a bundt cake, I'm not sure. So you're going to count them. Count with me, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. Since there are 4 cakes in that box, you will write the number 4, just like this, in this box. Over here, you're going to count the robots. Count with me, please. 1, 2, 3. Since there are 3 robots, you are going to write the number 3. Very good. Just the way you learned how to do it. Here you're going to count the coats and write the number in the box, and then count the acorns and write them in the box. Okay, here is a review. There's 1 dot, so this is what the number 1 looks like. 2 dots, so you're going to trace that. 3 dots, trace the number 3. And again, count how many items are in the, how many picture items are in the box, and write the number next to it. So over here we have starfish. Count with me. 1, 2, 3. What number do you think we're going to write in this box? Very good, the number 3. Over here we have a balloon. Count the balloons with me, boys and girls. 1. Very easy, right? So what number will you write in the box? Very good, number 1. All right, let's go to the next page. Andrew, this one's for you. There are dice at the bottom of each column. A column goes from the top down to the bottom. If you have a dice from your one of your board games at home, you'll just need 1 dice. It's called a die. You're going to roll it, and if you get a number 1, then you're going to go to the top and trace the letter B. Then you're going to roll the die again. If you get a number 5, you go to the 5 column and trace that letter B. So what you'll do is you'll roll the die, trace the letter, roll the die, trace the letter, and every time until you get all of the letter B's. Yesterday we went over the letter B and how to write it. I'm going to do that again with you. So for a capital B, you start at the top and go down, just like we did for the number 4. And then you're going to go out and in to the middle. Trace this out and in to the bottom. That is a capital B. For a lowercase b, again, we start with our straight line, top to bottom. Then we're going to make a circle at the very bottom to the right. And that is a lowercase b. Please make the sound of the letter B with me, boys and girls. The sound that the letter B makes is B, B, B. Very good. The other page we have for today is a trace and color by number. So the first thing you will do on this is you're going to trace all of the lines. Go from one dot to another dot to another dot until all the lines are traced. And then you will have a picture of a bumblebee, both starting with the sound B, B, B for bee. Then over here, next to number 1, it says B-L-A-C-K. That spells the color black. Black starts with the sound B, B, B as well. So you will color the black crayon black. Number 2 says Y-E-L-L-O-W. That is the word yellow. Some of you remember the Y sound, y, 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 and that says yellow. So you will color the yellow crayon yellow. And then for number 3, we have another color word that starts with the B sound. B, B, blue. B-L-U-E. So you will color that crayon blue. Once you've finished tracing the lines, coloring the crayons, then you can color the picture. All of this bumblebee's face has the number 2 in it. So what you will do is you will look at the number 2 and it tells you color that section yellow. Then if you look at the wings have the number 3 in it. So you'll go to number 3 and it will tell you to color the wings blue. And then when you look at the bumblebee's body, you will see that there are some parts you will color number 2 for yellow and number 1 for black, number 2 for yellow, and number 1 for black, because a bumblebee's body is black and yellow. Let's see if we can do the pattern. Ready? It will be black, yellow, black, yellow. If we kept going on with the pattern, guess what color would come next? Ready? Black, yellow, black, yellow. What would be next? If you said black, you are correct. Very good. This paper goes back to something that we learned about very much earlier in the year, and it's a transportation sorting. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at different ways of transportation. Transportation is how we get from one place to another. We use our feet for transportation, right? When you go to the kitchen to have breakfast or a snack. We also can use a bicycle for transportation, an airplane for transportation, a sailboat. This one right over here is a submarine, a car, and a helicopter. So on the top it tells you, you're going to cut these pictures out, and it says, which kind of transportation forms do you use in the air? So you're going to look at all these cards and say, do I use a sailboat in the air? No. Do I use a bicycle in the air? Nope. Do I use an airplane in the air? Yes. So you will glue the picture of the airplane under the air transportation. This column will be for the kinds of transportation that you use in the water. And this column will be for the type of transportation that you use on land. So families with these papers, again, whatever ones your family is comfortable with doing, just please make sure, boys and girls, that you write your name at the top of each page and put it in the envelope to return on Friday. Okay, finally, boys and girls, I'm going to read to you a story called The Garden Monster by Patricia Riley Giff, illustrated by Diane Palmiciano. The Garden Monster. Time to plant. Pom, pom, pom. What was that? Was it thunder? Phew, it was only Jim playing his drum. No more snow, Jilly, he shouted. It's time to plant. Let's go, Fiercely, I said. But Fiercely, the dog, was busy. Fiercely's paws were on the table. He was trying to eat the seeds. Nana had brought for us. That dog. We took the seeds out to the garden. I hope they'll grow, I said. Right now they look like dots and specks. Jim held up a big striped one. All except for this one, he said. We dug tiny holes and dropped them in, even the striped one. Fiercely came to help. He dug a hole too. He rolled around in it. That's what my dogs do when they're in the garden. It was hard working in the garden, but I thought of the vegetable parade at the end of the summer. We'd march, we'd dress up as vegetables. There'd be medals that said, "Great garden, way to go." We have to watch out for bugs and slugs, said Jim. He leaned forward. I just read a book about a garden monster. It grew huge monster plants and ate them. Eek, I said. I hope it doesn't eat people. Or dogs, said Jim. Look at this big monster plant. Do you think that this story is fact or fiction? Do you think it's true or do you think it's make-believe? Very good. It is make-believe. It's fiction. Plants don't really eat people. We watered our seeds. Fiercely wanted to water too. He raced under the hose. He ran over the garden. He shook himself off. Swish, splash, swish. The dots and specks were wet. We were wet. And Fiercely was soaked from his head to his skinny tail. We looked at our garden. We'll get that medal, Jim said. If only those bugs and slugs stay away. And the garden monster that eats plants, I said. Tomorrow we're going to start chapter 2. This is a chapter book, so it has different sections. So if you tune in tomorrow, we'll read chapter 2 of The Garden Monster. I hope you enjoyed that story. And if you have any questions about any of the assignments today, please email me. I'll be available until 3 o'clock. And also, we have some really great links for you to watch today about planting. Have a great day, boys and girls.